What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lambo Plays podcast. This is episode 62, UFC Jacksonville. And this week, I will have two special guests as Tim is out. He's out of town training. I think some of his students have tournaments, so he is not going to be here, I think, for the next 2 weeks. So this week, again, two special guests that I'm going to have here today with me. Before I go on to them, let me go over to my chat and always shout out my chat. Double Flush, what is up, my man? Mr. D is in the house. What is up? Addicted to Combat, Patrick, what is up, my man? Robert Fishsticks in the house. William Tyner, thank you very much, sir. GDS in the house. Dix Insider in the house. Joshua Frick, what is up, my man? No, it's not a new camera. It's actually, I'm back home now. MMA Propaholic, thank you, my man. $9.99 dono. I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. I know you're very excited for one of my guests here, maybe both of them actually, but I know you've been talking up one of my guests, and both of them deserve it. Dix Insider, St. Stephen, GMC, B Anon. Thank you very much, boys. 31 of you already in here. Without further ado, let me bring in my guest. First of all, it is my guest here, LouBetya. What is up, my man? Are you ready for UFC Jacksonville? You are on mute. You are starting off on the wrong foot.
I am such a rookie. Thanks for having me. I always love being here. This card's great. It's great from a betting perspective. It's great from a fan perspective. And I'm ready to dig in. And congratulations on the first of many final tables you will make this summer, sir.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It was bittersweet, but
it's the worst $38,000 you ever won.
$38,000 later, and I'm still pissed off. But yeah, I'm actually grateful, to be honest. Like, it's hard to go through 5,000 people and get there. But let me bring in my other special guest. It's none other than Brady, DFS by the numbers. What is up, my man? Are you ready for this UFC card?
Yes, sir. Holy crap, Narco, 38K. That's amazing there. Are you gonna be in Vegas for 290 still?
Yeah. I'm going back today, actually. Right after the show, I'm driving back, 4-hour trip. Yeah, I'm gonna be right back at it. I'm gonna play in the main event. I'm playing in other events, so hopefully
I'll be there as well. So maybe we can get a drink or something. But
dude, hit me up. We're renting a condo, so I'm gonna be out there. Yeah. Nice. Let's get a drink. If I'm not playing or something, I would love to meet up and maybe have a couple of drinks.
Sounds good, man. But yeah, looking forward to the show for sure.
Yeah, okay, cool. Souvlaki Gaming, what is up, my man? Straight greetings from Greece, man. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Bunch of you are in here now. Thank you very, very much, guys. And with that being said, actually, I do want to say one more thing. There's my shirt. There's one of my merch. It's down below. The link is down below. It's my merch store. Go over there. If you like the show, if you like what we do here, please go support the show by maybe buying some merch and putting it on you and then posting it to Twitter, because that would be great. I would really appreciate it. But with that being said, let's start off here, man. We got 13 fights. We lost one fight this morning. So we'll start out with the first fight of the night. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 8-4 Cody Brundage versus the 7-1 Cedricis Dumas. LouBetya, start us off here, my friend.
So full disclosure, I'm obviously completely biased here. Cody's my dude. Everybody seems to be jumping on the Cody sub, but whenever he's on the ground, he's never hunting for subs. Against Dalsha, he got it from a standing position. Jump guillotine on Vieira, obviously not the wisest move. But when he's on the ground, he's trying to get top control. He's throwing ground and pound. It's what he did to Gore. I think that's way more indicative of his style. So the round 1 KO on FanDuel's plus 700. I think that's a great price for it. I think is honestly the biggest part of his win condition. He's not a huge submission guy. He's definitely more of a puncher. He's also fallen in love with his striking a little more now too. So Cody round 1 KO. Completely biased pick, sure. But plus 700 is a nice price for that, I think.
All right, Cody, round 1 KO plus 700 for LouBetya. Brady, go into what you have here.
Yeah, that one stuck out to me as well. I went the same thing. Cody KO1, it's plus 900 even on Bet River Sportsbook. I'm not as biased as Lou, I'd say. Cody Brundage, friend of the show. I don't think he probably likes me because I've picked against him in every single fight. This is actually the first fight I'm picking Cody Brundage. I do want to say, I think the line's super wide. I did see Brundage at minus 115, and I was tempted at that, but Brundage minus almost 200 doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But Cody goes out there, he throws bombs. He knocked down Vieira, he knocked out Gore. His striking solid is coming together, and he hits like a truck. I think he's going to try to take off Dumas's head. So obviously he can wrestle, he can't get the sub, but I think a knockout's just as live, and plus 900 for that first round knockout. I like it as well.
All right, two guys both on the first round KO on the Cody Brundage side. I'm on the opposite side, man. I'm on the opposite side on the money line, and I can't stand, full disclosure, I can't stand Dumas. I don't think he's very good. I bet against him pretty big on Josh Frem last time out as a big dog. And now I'm betting him as a dog here. And there's a couple of reasons, to be honest. One, I just don't like Cody Brundage when things don't go his way. He kind of finds the door out, man. And if he doesn't have success here and he doesn't finish Dumas early, I just think he's probably going to get knocked out on the feet. There's a huge reach advantage here. I don't think Dumas is a terrible striker. He's actually pretty good. He landed some nice shots on Josh Frem. And when you watch the ending sequence to the Frem fight, where it's basically a mistake from Dumas, he's jumping on his back, doesn't sink in the hooks, falls off, and then fucking Frem just starts pounding on him on the ground, right? And then chokes him out. On the feet, I just think it's a big mismatch. Yeah, I do see Brundage having power on the feet, but he also gets tagged a lot, man. And I do think Dumas's kicks, I do think Dumas's length is going to be a big problem for him. So with that being said, I think Dumas stops him here probably later rather than earlier. So I'm just going to go with KO. It's plus 300. It's right there on the Lambo play cusp. So I do think Dumas probably knocks him out here at some point in this fight. So I'm going to go with the Dumas KO plus 300 here. But I do see a lot of love for Cody Brundage KO1. Did you have something to say, Brady?
No, I didn't. I just think in general, somebody's getting served here. I think the unders are probably solid parlay pieces this week as well.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Die Hard is in here, Clint, Lou, and Brady. Is it my birthday? Wait, is it my birthday? Yes, it is.
Happy birthday.
Because they're both in here. Yeah. Dad says if Cody don't wrestle, it's proof he has very low fight. I mean, he has low fight IQ. He's fucking jumping guillotine against Rodolfo Vieira, man. He doesn't have low fight IQ. That's the other thing I didn't mention, actually. He got reversed, dude, against Mikal and then got pounded out. He got fucking reversed by he had fucking Knight flattened out, ready to finish him, and somehow he got finished in that fight. Dude, this guy is just, I don't know, man. I can't, especially at chalk, I can't believe people can bet minus 180, minus 200 Brundage. That's a no-no to me. I can't do it. But yeah, let's move on. Fight 2 of the night. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 19-6 Jamal Emmers versus the 11-2 Jack Jenkins. Brady, what do you have here for your Lambo play?
Yeah, nothing really sticking out on this one in terms of a Lambo play. Tim's not here, and in lieu of Tim, I'm gonna have to go out and play the split decision prop plus 450. I just see it being a close fight. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than this line does indicate. I like Emmers. I think Emmers is a very, very skilled fighter, but just like Brundage, the fight IQ sometimes can be a problem with Emmers. I think this fight does go to decision more often than not. I think both guys are gonna have their moments. Plus 450 for that split. I think Emmers probably does win this fight, but minus 225 on Emmers just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Give me the split plus 450. We'll see if we can get one for Tim there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Basically, I think I like Emmers' game, and I think he's really good. I just think this fight is a lot closer than what this line indicates, just because of one major factor, in my opinion, and that's the calf kick from Jenkins. Watching some of the fights, and he fought Giga, but Giga's not really a calf kicker. Giga throws to the head, Giga throws to the body, but he's not really a calf kicker, and he didn't throw many calf kicks in that fight. But then when you want Ashkabov fight, and, Ashkabov was going for it, and he missed a lot of them, but he did land a couple of them. They were pretty hard, man. And knowing what Jack Jenkins is really good at is that fucking calf kick, man. It's really, really heavy. It's really nasty. And Jamal Emmers really has pretty thin fucking legs, man. So I'm really afraid of that calf kick in this fight. I have a weird play here, man. I think Jenkins round 2, round 3, because primarily of the calf kick that I think eventually gets to Emmers here. Plus 2,000, plus 2,900. And again, it's not because I think Jenkins can knock him out on the feet and he has big power or he could sub him. It's because I think he can chop his leg off, man. And he throws very, very hard calf kicks. And I think 2 or 3 of his fights have been stopped via calf kick, man. Like, he throws hard. And we saw last fight, like, dude, the guy's leg was absolutely fucking done. And he kept pushing forward. I don't know. First of all, he has way bigger calves than what Emmers has. And I don't know if Emmers can push through calf kicks like that. So, yeah, give me round 2, round 3. What do you have here, Lou?
I'm playing off something you just said and somehow going the exact opposite route. I think he's going to hate the calf kicks early. We've seen Emmers, his grappling's not bad. The guy has proven he's fine going for takedowns when it gets a little hairy on the feet. He did it against Giga, did it against Cachero 5 times, even took Ashka Bibble down once. I would think that if he's getting calf kicked early, he gets Jenkins down. I mean, look, I don't have a lot of belief in this, but if you're going to have a grappling heavy thing and Emmers wants no part of those calf kicks, Emmers' submission is plus 700. It's on every book I saw. It's about the same price. So definitely like a different way to play it. If he doesn't go for takedowns in the first round, this bet's dead. But I think to your point, if he gets kicked once or twice, he's going to be like, the hell with this and just try to get this fight down.
And it's very possible. I just kind of question Emmers' fight IQ, right? He's kind of burned us a little, in the fight against Giga. Like, he's deciding to stand for almost 2 rounds.
The Sabatini one was terrible.
In the Sabatini fight, he goes heel hook against a guy that's a much better submission grappler. Like, just stupid things that he's done in the past. And, to expect him to grapple here, yeah, maybe he does, but maybe he doesn't. And then I think it's a lot closer than what this line's going to indicate. Moving on, fight number 3. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 8-0 Trevor Peek versus the 13-6 Chepe Mariscal. I'm going to go right back to the well, man. I'm going to keep fucking playing round 2, round 3 against Trevor Peek until it hits. Because it's going to hit when he can't get somebody out and he's death gassed and he's going to fucking get taken out of there. Chepe Mariscal, obviously, something I don't like about him is he tends to trade a lot and he tends to get into these wars. You see it in the Steve Garcia fight. He gets lit up with the left hand. You see it, where he gets absolutely killed against, what's that other UFC fighter that killed him? He's fighting pretty soon. Sorry, Joe Anderson Brito. Absolutely fucking killed him with the right hand in that fight. But the thing with Mariscal that I like is he has a ton of UFC experience without being in the UFC. Because look at the fighters he's fought. Pat Sabatini, Joe Anderson Brito, Gregor Gillespie. All these fucking UFC fighters that he's fought. Steve Garcia, Sean Soriano, Bryce Mitchell. I mean, all these guys are UFC fighters that he's fought on the regional scene, right? So I think he has a big experience edge here. Yeah, he's taking this fight on short notice, but I think he has a big cardio edge. He has a big submission grappling edge. If this fight pushes past the first round, I think Mariscal should have his way in round 2, round 3. It's 750 and 1,400. And I would say sprinkle just a little of sub 2, sub 3, because he's got a big grappling edge on this guy, man. Watch him in the Sabatini fight where he's going head-to-head with Sabatini in a grappling and doing pretty damn well. So give me round 2, round 3, 750 and 1,400 here on Chepe Mariscal. What do you have here, Lou?
Pretty much the same thing. I just did round 2 because I think I don't know. Peak's his cardio is pretty untested. We don't really know his improvements, but it's not like he's going to have great takedown defense overnight. I don't like the short notice. I don't like the size with Mariscal here. A little undersized here probably, but you mentioned the big thing is the experience. His strength to schedule advantage is insanely better than Peak's. And as long as if he goes for a takedown the first 30 seconds of this fight, I think that's just the best thing he could do. Even if the first round is boring, that's the absolute smartest thing he can do. So I like the late round props. I'll probably sprinkle the round 3 as well, but I had Chepe round 2 at plus 750.
Yeah, bro, we're going to have to keep going to the well against this guy because the hammer fist is eventually not going to land. Brady, what do you have here, bud?
Yeah, honestly, nothing really sticks out to me for a Lambo play. I'm going to give a Honda Civic play for this one. And I think it's just Trevor Peak, knockout 1, plus 265. I think this is going to be an absolute car crash. Trevor Peak can go out there looking to get the finish early on. And yeah, if this does get to the second round, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. But I think Peak does get him out of there early. So not a Lambo play, almost Lambo play, but kind of like a Honda Civic play, plus 265. I think that's the most likely scenario here. As Chepe's been knocked out 3 times. Peak's gonna be the bigger fighter. Peak has a ton of power. I think Peak gets him early.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like, I do think probably he finishes. He's the bigger guy, much bigger guy. He hits very, very fucking hard. But man, his skills are so fucking bad. So bad. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be an interesting fight. Squad Shit says Peak trains at Ogage. It is where I'm from. Got to ride with Peak. Uncle Weezy's in the house. There's no chance in hell Pepe has better conditioning than Peak. Trevor Peak fight starts at 100, and he's always the last one standing. We can't argue with that. He's always the last one standing. Eventually, he's going to be the last one on the ground, maybe finished. Luke says Chepe had grappling success against Mitchell. Yeah, exactly. Like, he's actually a pretty you know what's very awkward, though? Sean Soriano out-grapples this guy, and this guy's on his back. And Soriano cranked grapple for shit. So I don't understand what happened there. I have no idea, but it wasn't like the Mariscal that you see in the past. Like, it's just not. So it's very awkward. Moving on. Fight number 4 here. It is, if this computer will fucking, Jesus. Fight number 4. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 14-8 Zhalgas Zamagulov versus the 7-1 Joshua Van. LouBetya, new haircut for Zamagulov after 5, fucking fights falling out. What do you have here for your Lambo play?
Internet darling Zhalgas Zamagulov. Yeah, I don't really know I don't think he's a little too young. I don't think he's ready yet for this level. Another short notice appearance. I'm glad this fight appears to be happening. I think if Van's going to win, it's going to be early. But I think as this goes on, Zhalgas is actually going to implement the grappling. He doesn't want to have any more of these close fights. He's done with the judges. Zhalgas round 2, round 3 submission, plus 2,800 on FanDuel. Yes, it's a bonkers number, but I don't think Van's going to have the cardio to push a hard 15 minutes here. We know that Zhalgas can. If he implements the grappling, gets the thing on the ground, and Van is death gassed, I could see Zhalgas wrapping up a neck here. So if this thing goes to the judges, Zhalgas is just going to walk out of the cage. It's not going to matter how the fight played out. He's like, not dealing with this shit. So I think he wins in the distance. I think he takes the judges out of it. The subline's it's a stupid number at plus 2,800. So, and his last win by finish was against Rivera. It was a submission. So see if Lightning can strike twice here against a guy who I think will gas after 5 minutes in this fight.
All right. He is on the Zhalgas late round submission props. Brady, what do you have here?
Yeah, this is actually a tracked play for me this week. I just took the Zhalgas sub, just the plus 1,400. It doesn't make a ton of sense. Yes, Zhalgas doesn't have a ton of subs on his record, but like Lou said, his only finish in the UFC was by sub. This is a really big step down in competition for Zhalgas. Zhalgas has fought some really, really good guys inside and outside of the UFC. Joshua Van, fairly new to being a pro. I think he turned pro like less than 2 years ago. And then you watch the tape on this guy. This guy's getting taken down with no resistance whatsoever. His only loss comes by submission. If Zhalgas is watching any footage on this guy, you got to think the game plan here for Zhalgas is to not stand and bang with Van, is to take him down. And if he does, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities. So I think it is more than likely late. If it does happen 2-3, Joshua Van's never seen a third round, but I just took the sub just in case it happens in round 1. So give me some Zalga sub plus 1,400.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. I do think that's a pretty good play there, because I mean, he should grapple. Like I don't know if he will, but he definitely should grapple here. I actually know Joshua Van from I watch a lot of regionals, obviously, and he's a Fury FC guy. And I think he's very, very talented, and he's improving rapidly. He's 21 years old. He hits pretty hard. He has pretty good scrambling ability. He's not bad. The one fight against Devin Jackson where he got choked, Devin Jackson's like legit really, really good wrestler. So he got basically mauled in the wrestling there. It could happen here where Zalgas kind of mauls him in the grappling. The issue with Zalgas and what I see on tape is he really doesn't hold anybody down when he gets them down. Like he can land a takedown, but it's just like there's absolutely no control from him. And Joshua Van, for me, is going to be the more athletic guy. He's obviously a lot younger, maybe a little too young, like LouBetya said. But I do think he has actually really good cardio. He's been in high-paced fights where he finished. I don't think cardio is going to be an issue here. The one thing with fucking Zalgas that we all know is he always fights close. Every single time. The only time he didn't fight close is when he finished Jerome Rivera. And Jerome Rivera, to me, is absolute dog shit, man. So he always fights close. And Joshua Van, by decision, is plus 600. I don't see him stopping Zalga Zamagulov because Zamagulov is extremely durable, extremely tough. But plus 600 by decision against the guy that always fights close no matter who the fuck you are. I'm going to take my shot, man. And it's such a big number that I don't think it's accurate. I don't think, his KO line should be less than his decision line here. So give me the decision plus 600 on Joshua Van. We got a couple of comments. Luke says, Zalgas over 1.5 takedowns on underdog. A good look, in my opinion. Yeah, he should land probably at least 2 takedowns. You are 100% correct. Uncle Wheezy says, I got the under 2.5 at plus 160. Definitely more of an AMC pacer play, but I like the violence here. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I think it's probably more on the Zalgas side. Like you guys said, possibly submission. But man, another thing Van is he's got a fucking chin, man. He's ate some really, really big shots on the regionals. And dude, the guy is probably showing a 20, 21-year-old chin at this point where it's nice and fresh. So moving on. Fight number 5. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 8-1 Tabitha Ricci versus the 12-7 Jillian Robertson. Brady, kick this one off.
Yeah, I'll start by saying I don't have any action on this fight. I don't know. It's one of those fights where, pre-fight, I'm like, I don't know. I lean Ricci, but I feel like whoever wins this fight is going to win pretty convincingly, whether it's, Ricci having success winning this across 3 rounds. Robertson could do the same thing, maybe a Robertson sub. Nothing's really sticking out in terms of a Lambo play. Like, I think for me, it's Ricci and Ricci by decision. I don't see her finishing Jillian Robertson, but that's only plus 120. The only Lambo play possibly sticking out would have to be Robertson submission, plus 380. If I had to give something, I don't think it's a good look, but that's the only thing that I possibly see as a Lambo play this week. So Robertson by submission, I'm not playing it. I'm not touching this fight, but that's the only thing that would stick out in terms of a Lambo play this week.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I hated looking at the props on this fight. I'm like, where the fuck am I going to go? Like, yeah, I understand, one girl has better submission skills than Jillian Robertson, which I do think she has really good submission skills. But like Ricci's very competent on the ground. She's a black belt herself. Is she actually going to get sub here? Like, I don't think so. I think this fight is okay. So like grappling kind of like washes out a little. I favor a little on the Robertson side, and then the striking again kind of washes out, but I favor the Ricci side. So it's like, I feel like this fight's going to be close, right? When I'm telling myself all these things, I just went with Robertson decision because it was such a big line. It's 340. I don't think she's going to finish this girl. And I could see like Ricci winning a decision as well, but her line kind of sucks. So I'm going to go with Robertson decision. It's plus 340. I definitely think she can win a decision. If she gets top time, it's going to be very dangerous for Ricci on bottom because Robertson's super dangerous on top. I don't think Ricci's anywhere near as dangerous as Robertson is on top. So I'm going to go with decision plus 340. I think the size is going to matter here too. Robertson's much bigger here, and she's dropping from 25, and she looked really good last fight at 15. So I think it's a great move for her. She's still very young. She's the younger of the two, which is very awkward, I think, right? She's 1 year younger than Ricci. So yeah, I'm going to go with Robertson decision here, plus 340. Lou, what do you got here?
It feels like Robertson's been around for way, way longer too. So it's strange, but this will be the first of 3 split decisions I give out tonight for Tim. I can see like everything you said is, I think 100% spot on. Like, I think Ricci's going to have a marginal striking advantage. The one thing here with Ricci winning minutes is that Robertson's takedown defense is terrible. And I know that a lot of it is just wants to get fights to the ground. She accepts getting taken down to do her work down there. But Ricci's pretty decent on top. She's good at control. She's not but she's not terribly active. She's not throwing tons of strikes on top. She just she looks like she's doing a lot without actually really doing a lot. And I think that Ricci can win a lot of minutes in each round. But when Robertson either gets a reversal or does have top control, the 1 minute she's in control is going to look more effective than the 4 minutes that Ricci had. So I think it's going to be just one of these weird, how do the judges see it fight? You're not getting great odds here. The split's plus 400. It's kind of shitty. But Jillian at 1100's, I think, pretty good value for a line that's super close. I think people just think she's mostly sub or bust, but I don't think she necessarily is here. I think Ricci's sub defense is pretty good. I think she can stay out of trouble. So I'm just going to take all the splits here. Ricci plus 650, Jillian 1100, fight down and split plus 400.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way this fight might go. Like, I know a lot of people are this is like been like the Twitter battle, I guess, of the week. People are on Ricci, people are on Robertson.
It's a simp war. That's why.
Yeah, but to me, it's like, why pick this fight out of all the fights? Like, this fight just feels like the line is actually accurate, man. It's like, why mess with this fight where you just really don't know how the grappling is going to go? You don't. Like, yeah, okay, Ricci takes her down, but what happens when she takes her down? Like, could she get reversed? Is Robertson going to throw up like a nasty sub from bottom? Like, I don't know, honestly. I don't know what's going to happen because I do think Robertson is the better submission grappler, but I think Ricci might have a little bit better wrestling. So I'm just not sure on this fight. You got anything, Brady?
No, I mean, I'm staying far away from this one.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on, fight number 6. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 17-1 Matthias Rebecci versus the 17-4-1 Loik Radzhabov. And I will kick this one off. I mean, I like the Rebecci side here, man. Radzhabov missed weight again, I guess. He missed by like a pound. He looked very tired in the last fight, even though he pushed through and won. He got rocked. Rebecci didn't look great against Fior, but I think he kind of cardio dumped in the first round. He went for the kill. He thought he was going to get the kill. He didn't get the kill. But he's still 30-26, the guy. You know what I'm saying? And Rebecci, I think, is the better overall fighter, in my opinion. On top, he's super, super dangerous. And now this weight miss and cardio issue, I think Rebecci round 2, round 3 has some pop to it. It's 1,100 and 1,400. I think he's the much better guy when he gets on top. Like, Loik has good takedown defense, but he's never faced a guy as relentless and crazy as this guy, Rebecci, is. And when he's on top, dude, like, this guy's very fucking nasty. So, Rebecci round 2, 1,100. Rebecci round 3, 1,400 is what I'm going to go with here. Lou, what do you have here?
There's a certain bet I really wanted to give out for this one, but I won't. I'll respect the show. I think we're getting a pretty good price on Rebecci here. Because
listen, if you have that bet, then fucking say it. It doesn't matter.
I haven't done it yet. That's why I don't want to give it out yet. But everybody was on the Rebecci in the distance line against Fiore, and he certainly went for it the first 5 minutes. But we've seen it a lot of times. You're making your debut. You can have an adrenaline dump. And then he still pushed through it the second and third rounds. He still found ways to win. He just wasn't as explosive. I think now that he's got that out of the way, he's going to manage his cardio better. I think Loic looked terrible. I think the weight miss is a bad look. And I do think Rebecci will get him out of there. This is like the worst Lambo play I'm giving out all day, but I'm just going to play the Rebecci KO at plus 350 for the show.
Yeah, I mean, that could happen as well. And I don't mind it. Honestly, the 1 pound weight miss is probably the worst weight miss that you can have. Like, that's the one where you struggled to get there. You tried and you didn't get there. So, yeah. Brady, what do you have here for us?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you, Narco. A prop that kind of sticks out to me is the fight to end in round 3 in general, just plus 800. Both these guys have struggled with their cardio, especially Radzhabov. Like, there's been plenty of fights where we've seen him tired in his debut. And on top of that, he missed weight today, didn't look great. If the cardio is compromised, Rebecci can get him out of there late. And then we also saw Rebecci slow down massively in his debut. So I think it's going to be a very high-paced fight. And I think a third round finish could definitely materialize. So 800, I went with that. Nothing else really sticking out.
All right. We will move on. Fight number 7. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 16-5 Randy Brown versus the 18-6 Wellington Turman. Lou, what do you have here, my friend?
I'm sick to my stomach that I have to give this one out. But I think there's a ton of value on the Turman sub at plus 600. That's on both. FanDuel and DraftKings have the same price. I do think there's going to be grappling here because he's going to get murdered. If it stays on the feet, he's going to get murdered at range. Brown's just going to pick him apart and probably KO him in the first 4 or 5 minutes of this fight. But Turman's pretty active, trying to grapple, at least trying to get people against the cage. If this fight does hit the ground, I think Brown would welcome it on the ground too. Brown's not an amateur. He definitely knows how to throw up very unique submissions. But let's see how strong Turman looks. I mean, this is his first fight at 170. Is it ever, or is it just in like a really long time?
Long time.
Very long.
So let's see. He may be the stronger guy here, and he may be the stronger guy by a significant margin, even though he doesn't really look like much, and I kind of hate his face. But I think if this thing hits the ground, Turman, I don't know why the sub's not live. He's absolutely going to be going for submission attempts pretty much every second they're in the grappling. So plus 600 is not a bad look. I don't know if he even has decision equity here, to be honest. I think Brown will control most of the fight, unless Turman's got top time. And if he's got top time, he's probably getting a submission. And this isn't like, I saw somebody like, well, his cardio wasn't that good against Petrosky. It's like, yeah, but Petrosky, man, that style that Petrosky, and people like question Petrosky's gas tank, but that is just an exhausting 15 minutes to go through with a guy with the style that he fights in. So Brown doesn't fight that kind of style. So I think Turman's cardio should hold up here. I do think he gets at least one takedown in this fight. If he does, that sub is super live for me. But I feel sick about it.
All right. Submission on Turman. Brady, what do you have here?
Yeah, I think Brown knocks him out. But yeah, Lou's 100% right. Like, if Turman wins this fight, it's going to be by submission. I don't see him obviously knocking out Randy Brown. And I agree. I don't think there's much decision equity as well. I don't see him riding out Brown across 3 rounds. So yeah, this number just does not make much sense. I mean, if you're on the Turman side, the money line's like plus 175 to plus 200. I think if he wins, it's submission plus 600. So that's my Lambo play.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys, man. I have a half unit bet on it. I think he's going to land takedown here. Like, he went for like almost 10 takedown attempts against Silva. Yeah, he didn't land one, but like Brown's skinny ass legs, and now at 170, he should be a stronger guy. If he gets him down, like even if he doesn't get him down, if he pushes him against fence, like you see like Turman jumping on people's backs all the time. Like he just does it for some reason. And we were talking about this. He doesn't fucking put the body triangle on. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Maybe he gasses his legs out, but he just like will put the hooks in and get on your back, but then he slides off, So, yeah, man, I mean, he's the much, much better submission grappler here. And somehow, some way, their sub props are about even. Like, his is 600, and I think Randy Brown's might be even less in some places. But just really awkward. Brown submission in some spots is 450, man. and Turman's 600. Like, does that make sense to you? Like, I don't think so. Like, I get he's got long limbs and he can throw up a triangle, but dude, like Turman's the better submission grappler here. It's not even close. So, yeah, I mean, sparring's making some points. Like, he's getting reversed 3 times by Robertson. But I mean, training with Glover now of late, for the last 4 camps or something, like the guy's still super young, man. Like I think he's 26 years old and he's only getting it better. Yeah, man. I mean, at distance, obviously it's Randy Brown, but the guy's a twig. He can get his calf kicked, all this other good stuff. So I'm going to have to go with that submission prop. It's too big. It's plus 600. It's an actual track play of mine. I do want to give this guy his props. Narco shitted his last card. I shitted my last card, but I was up 0.299 units. How did I shit the card exactly? I mean, these people making these stupid comments. So I'm going to make you look stupid because you said I shit that last card, yet I was up almost a unit. So I guess that makes sense. I shit the card. Moving on.
You shitted the card.
I shitted the card. I shitted the card even though I was up. Koala Analytics. Your analytics suck, by the way. I have to tell you that. Moving on, fight number 8. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 27-10 Neil Magny versus the 10-3 Philip Rowe. And I think I will kick this one off to Brady, correct? Go ahead.
Yep. This kind of like the Zalgas sub prop. I think this Magny sub prop is just like a wild number. So plus 1,200 in general here. So what I went with on FanDuel, they have the round 2, round 3 sub plus 2,300. I mean, when you take a look at Phil Rowe, when are guys having success? When guys are taking him down, Witt took him down, had top control. And then in the second round, Witt kind of gassed out. He got knocked out. Same thing with Ryan Cosey. Ryan Cosey took him down, had top control, gassed out, got knocked out. Neil's not going to gas out. Neil has very good cardio, and Neil can wrestle, grapple for 3 rounds. And I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities. Like I think Phil Rowe, he's a black belt in BJJ, trains with very good guys. But I think Magny will have a lot of opportunities if he takes this fight down to the mat. I did listen to an interview with Magny, and he was talking about how this is a great fight to test his striking. I don't think that'd be the best idea. Why not just take down Phil Rowe? He can be taken down easy. And I think the sub's like super light, plus 1,200. It does it. I think obviously decision's the most likely scenario here, but plus 1,200 doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So give me that 2-3 sub.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see it, man, but I think I kind of feel like Phil Rowe is the better grappler, like submission grappler, and he's competed at a pretty fucking high level against a lot of really good guys, man. And yeah, obviously Gordon Ryan subbed him and Checo subbed him, but like he's faced really, really good guys. And, in his professional career, he's never actually been subbed. He just recently got his black belt. Man, and to be honest, like Phil Magny makes a lot of fucking mistakes on the ground. He has been subbed a shit ton of times. I don't think Phil Rowe is going to sub him because he doesn't really go for subs when the fight's down there. Like he goes for more ground. However, I do think this fight is close again, man. I feel like this fight is very close. Now you mentioned to me that I didn't hear this interview, but he wants to test his fucking striking skills, which is pretty damn stupid because I think Phil Rowe hits much harder than Magny does. The other thing that you have to take into account, and I really am in this fight, is this is the first time I believe Magny is going to face a guy that's in similar length and similar reach as he has. So it's going to be very interesting on the feet here, how he deals with the length of Phil Rowe as well. So with that being said, Magny's super durable. It's very hard to knock this guy out. He's been knocked down, but he's also looked like a shell of himself of late, man. I just don't think he's looked good. Even in his win against Rodriguez in round 3, like, dude, Rodriguez has looked like absolute dog shit lately. So it's like, how good is that win? And he just literally didn't do anything against Gilbert Burns. It just gave up the sub. So it's very concerning for me. He's a little bit older. He's a lot older in fight years. I'm going to take Phil Rowe here by decision. I know it's weird because Magny usually always wins decisions through volume, through all that stuff. But I think the optics here, where he gets rocked possibly, where Rowe is landing the better shots here, is going to matter. So give me Rowe by decision, plus 600. I think he'll push through here, Magny, but I'm going to go on the Rowe side by decision here, plus 600. Lou, what do you have here?
So we're all going to have way different plays here. I'm on the Rowe side, but I'm going to play him round 2, round 3 KO at 10-1. The one thing I like about him, so you mentioned Magny's, maybe starting to look like a shell of himself. I don't love his striking defense. The fights that Magny wins, he gets guys against the cage, he makes it ugly. And yes, Rowe can be taken down. I'm sure he's working on that. So he's still, I know he's 32, but I feel like he's still kind of growing in the UFC. And the one thing I love about him the most, especially in the Nico Price fight, you saw it, this dude's power carries late. I mean, he's on his back for 5 minutes in the first round. He starts the second after just being grappled. His power is right there. He can one hit you. He can volume you. I don't think he needs to land 50 punches to get Magny out of there. The way this guy hits, especially, you mentioned like, as our buddy Liam would say, they have the same anthropomorphic advantages. They're both like 80-inch reach. So, but I think Rowe uses it better because I don't think Magny's striking is all that good. So I think it's going to look like Rowe has a big striking, like a big reach advantage here. I think he could tag Magny up. And unlike D-Rod, who I don't think is like a massive hitter on the feet, I think Rowe can get him out of there late. It's more just like the fights are starting to catch up to Magny, man. The durability. I know he usually gets submitted, but I think it's starting to take a wear and tear on him. So 10-1 odds for the round 2, round 3 KO from Rowe. He could get him in the first, but I actually think Magny's probably going to win the first round by just getting a takedown. Has Rowe ever won a first round? I feel like he never wins the first round. So I could,
Rob, I think he won the first round against last fight out, didn't he? Kind of feel like he won that first round, lost the second possibly, and then ended up knocking out Nico in the third. I don't remember, but I think he won the first. But yeah, you're right. Like Jason Witt, he was on his back a lot. Orion Koski, same shit. Yeah, I mean, it's his takedown defense is not very good, but I kind of don't mind his like work off his back, his get up game. It's not the worst.
He's active. He's constantly
active. Yeah. And Magny is just like, I don't know, man. I honestly think he's on his last leg here. Maybe I'm wrong. And like you mentioned, the other thing I like is straight shots come a lot more from Philip Rowe here. So I could see it. Moving on, fight number 9. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 21-5 Brandon Allen versus the 23-8 Bruno Silva. And I will kick this one off. I like the Allen side, man. I know Bruno Silva looked good last time out, got a knockout. But Brandon Allen is going to have the volume advantage. Brandon Allen is going to have the grappling advantage. Brandon Allen is going to have most of the finishing upside outside the, KO. I do think Silva has the KO, but I do think Silva's durable. I do think he's tough. I don't think it's easy to knock this guy out, even though he got knocked out, a couple of fights ago against, well, not knocked out, but he got hurt against Meerschaert pretty bad, and then he got subbed. But look at the Pereira fight, man. This guy fucking took a hellacious beating from a guy that hits one of the hardest hitters in the UFC, and he took it. I don't think Brandon Allen can knock this guy out. However, I do think on the ground, he's got a pretty big edge. I think Silva's a black belt, but black belts, there's black belts here and there's black belts down there. I think he's the one down there. But I think he survives here, dude. And I think Brandon Allen wins a decision here through volume, through some grappling. Plus 380, Brandon Allen by decision. Yes, Brandon Allen finishes a lot of his fights, but he also wins decisions. And he won one against a guy that's kind of similar to this guy in Punahele Soriano. So I'm going to take the Allen decision plus 380 here. What do you have here, Lou?
I got the exact same thing. And we've seen Allen kind of play with his food a little bit, which, it always concerns me early because he may just want to stay on the feet for a round before he eventually gets us to the ground. But I just can't get past. I think Allen just is a great parlay piece, a great straight bet, however you want to play him. This line's totally reasonable. I mean, you're seeing like Andrew Sanchez just dominate Silva on the ground for 10 minutes and then fall apart. But like Wellington Turman just dominate. Like these guys they're not just getting him down. They're dominating him on the ground. And I mean, what's Allen going to do to him on the ground? It's going to take, if Allen wants to get 3 takedowns and win this fight, that's all it's going to take. He takes him down. I don't see Silva getting up, but he is durable. He's tough. He seems to at least know how to defend a little bit. He can't defend takedowns, but does seem to know how to defend submission to the ground at a decent clip. So, and I think if this thing hits the third round, Allen's going to be up 2-0. He has no reason to, he's just going to have control. He's going to want, position over submission. and walk away with a nice 30-27 here. So I like the same thing you do. I like Allen decision.
Awesome. We agree on the plus 380 decision on Allen. Brady, do you agree with us or you have something else here?
No, I mean, I agree with the side. I like Allen a lot this week. In terms of like the money line, though, it's always terrifying laying this price tag on Allen. Just sometimes makes questionable decisions, but I think he finishes Bruno Silva. I think this is a big levels difference on the mat. Like you said, Narco, Silva is a black belt in BJJ, but there is a huge difference. I mean, Brendan Allen's out there submitting a black belt in Jocko in the first round, submitting Andre Muniz as well. Silva submitted in almost all of his losses. But yeah, I agree with Lou. I think it's going to kind of take his time early on, maybe strike a little bit. And I think in the second and third round, going to start working those takedowns. And I think eventually he does get him out of there. So I'm going with the 2-3 sub plus 470. I think Allen gets a sub in the second or third round here.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, it's very much on the table because I do think, like you said, there's a huge gap in grappling advantage here for Brandon Allen. Question from Dixon says, if Allen wins a decision, does he score over 100? I don't think so. I don't think he scores over 100. If he gets like fucking, 4 or 5 takedowns.
He might have like 14 minutes of control time too. So it depends.
But then I feel like
strikes, he'll get it. But if he's not,
I feel like if he finishes, if he has that much control time, that's my thing. Yeah. I think Silva might be able to get up here, if he gets taken down. And I don't think if it's 14 minutes of control time, I honestly think Brandon Allen should possibly finish him at some point there. Because Allen is not the type of guy that just lays in your guard, dude. He wants to pass. He wants to fucking get to these advantageous positions and fucking finish you. So, like, if he wins a decision, I don't think he scores 100. What do you guys think?
No, I think it would need to probably be a finish. Unless he gets a ton of takedowns, which I guess is possible. Sanchez did it, but I think if he gets him down, he's probably staying there for a while.
I mean, he'd have to land like 100-some strikes on the ground on top of the control time and on top of the takedowns. I mean, it's not inconceivable. 30 for the win. I mean, it's 45 points for the win and 3 takedowns. So control time would add up. I mean, what's his salary? Isn't he like 9,400? Or no, he's like 9,000. Or is he a little less?
I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not sure of his salary, but
he's probably 10x it.
He's 91, I think.
Yeah.
Well, he might barely 10x it with a decision win. Who knows?
So there you go. Even some DFS for you, Dixon. Moving on. Fight number 10. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 10-2 David Onama versus the 10-1 Gabriel Santos. What do you have here, Lou?
So I got really lucky with my Lerone Murphy bet. Let's just get that out of the way. I didn't think he won when I watched it live. I went back. I still don't think he won, but DraftKings says otherwise, and who am I to argue? But I like what I've seen from Santos. This Onama fight camp change, I think, is interesting. I want to get your opinion on this too. So he moves to Factory X, and obviously I know a few of the guys in those camps. I've been trying to see what they're working on, and it just seems like they're working on his striking, which is not the thing I think he needs. Like, if anything, you worried about it. I know he's training in elevation, but I worry about his cardio, and he doesn't seem like he knows how to get off his back. I mean, he accepted being on his back against Landwehr in the second and third round, had no urgency to get up, just was happy to not get finished. So I don't really know if this is a good camp for him. I think somewhere like Fight Ready or like, I don't know. Like any other camp, I feel like would have been better. This is not the perfect camp for him, but he seems like a good hammer. He seems like a horrible nail. Even the 2 fights he won, I mean, Armfield came in short notice, landed some shots till Onama took him down. Mugli was landing everything on him until Onama caught him. And I had an Onama KO ticket in that. So I don't think he has good defense. I think Santos is really good too, man. Like, I think this dude's super dangerous. His grappling's great. His striking's great. He's explosive. He even fought through he was totally gassed in that third round against Murphy, and he still fought through it enough. And that was a high-paced fight. A lot of grappling in that one too. But outside of a flash KO for Onama, I love Santos here. But I'm going to play the KO prop. I'm playing round 2, round 3 KO plus 950 on FanDuel. Santos' last 2. He likes ground and pound. He's another guy, like, I don't want to compare him to Cody Brundage. He's better than Cody Brundage. Don't tell Cody I said that. But he enjoys top control and just raining down. That's what he likes to do. I think his last fight, didn't he have like a liver kick? And then he's not even hunting for a sub. He's just, all right, onto the ground and throwing bombs. So, yeah, I'm going to play Santos KO round 2, round 3, 950 here. And I love him as a money line play, as a parlay piece too.
All right. Lou is all over the Santos side. Brady, what do you have here on this interesting fight?
Yeah, I think it's one of the best fights on the card. So I know why they're putting on the main card. I mean, it's going to be an absolute war. I like violence here first and foremost. I have a play on the fight doesn't go, but there's a prop that does kind of stick out to me. It's Onama first round knockout plus 1100. The one thing that stuck out to me watching Gabriel Santos prior to the Murphy fight was kind of the chin. I mean, he's tough, but he's been hurt a lot. He's been rocked. He's been dropped before, and Onama hits like a truck. So I think if Onama wins this fight, it's going to be early. And I agree with Lou. I think if this goes late at Santos, I think it's kind of like a Onama early, Santos late type situation. So I kind of think the win condition for Onama is going to be like an early knockout type thing. So plus 1100 for Onama knockout. I do lean towards the Santos side getting a late finish as well, but that's a prop that really did stick out to me.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I think here's the thing. There's some unknowns here on the Onama side mainly. Yeah, he left. He's been out for about a year after that fucking crazy fight against Landwehr. He showed a lot of heart. I think, I don't know if it's his cardio or he just he absolutely went for it in that first round and didn't finish Landwehr. And then, Landwehr, he keeps coming and he basically does the same shit to everybody, He gasses you out and then takes over. The thing with Gabriel Santos is he took that last fight on 2 or 3 days notice, dude. And if you look at his Instagram, he was literally on his farm or some farm. He wasn't even fucking training. So he flies in from Brazil, 2-3 days notice, goes up against a really good striker, overall fighter in LaRon Murphy, and shows and puts on a very good show where he probably won that fight, but he didn't win because it's in London. Anywhere else, he probably wins. But the thing is, I do like Onama. I know people have shit on him because of his last fight, but I think the guy is, for one, he's athletic. For two, he's super green, man. He's raw. He doesn't, the guy is learning MMA as he's going while he's fighting. And the year off, we could see a shit ton of improvements from this guy. And the one thing that we know he has is he has a ton of power. And he's super athletic. It just is what it is. And he's very long, So Gabriel Santos's issue for me is he tends to like to trade a lot. He gets hit a lot. You see him get busted up. You see him get, knocked down, like you said, in that one fight in LFA. He just tends to get hit a lot. But he's very durable. He's tough. And he keeps coming. His cardio is very, very impressive. I love his step-in knees. He goes really nasty to the body. I think those things might give Onama an issue here. I think round 2, round 3 here is pretty good bet on Santos. It's 600 and 1100. And I just think a guy that works the body so well, a guy that puts on a lot of pressure, very similar to Nate Landwehr did, but is a lot more technical than Nate Landwehr is. So I kind of see something very similar. Like Onama is going to be live early, but I think the more this fight goes on, the more I think the finish comes. And I do think Santos has a lot more finishing ability than Nate Landwehr does. So Santos, round 2, round 3, 600, 1100. I wouldn't be shocked if Onama knocks this guy out in round 1. I honestly wouldn't, because I think I agree with you, Brady. He hits like a truck. And again, we really don't know how much this 1 year layoff has improved this guy, because again, he's very green. Moving on, fight number 11. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 6-3 Justin Tafa versus the 12-3 Austin Lane. Brady, this one's yours.
I mean, there's nothing really sticking out here. I think Tafa destroys this guy. I mean, the only thing that kind of concerned me was if Lane would potentially get on top of Tafa. I think it could be bad, but I don't think Lane's a great wrestler. I guess he could tackle him and get on top, but I think Tafa knocks him out. So, I mean, this is not a Lambo play. This is not even a Honda Civic. I don't know what this is at all. This is like a scrapyard, junkyard play, but I'm just going to take Tafa knockout round 1. I think it's sitting at plus 175. That's really the only way I see this fight playing out.
That is called a used Toyota Camry play.
I like it.
And I'm going to give the same exact one. It's plus 160, KO1. I mean, listen, dude, this guy, Austin Lane, has no defense on the feet. One thing I know about Tafa is he's very technical. He's very fast for a big guy, and he hits very fucking hard on the feet. And honestly, Austin Lane is super green in MMA. This guy was an NFL player. He was on a bunch of different teams. He was a defensive end. So, yeah, can he fucking rush him and maybe tackle Tafa? It's possible. The one thing I'm very scared of is we've never even seen takedowns attempted against Justin Tafa. That's what scares me. And in his UFC career, like there's just no UFC attempts, no takedown attempts. And the only person to do a takedown attempt is none other than Harry Hunsucker. So I don't know what that means. Like there's no takedown. So I'm kind of scared that if this guy gets on top, he's a very big dude. But dude, on the feet, it's such a mismatch. Those calf kicks will probably take this guy's leg apart. And he's probably going to eat him up with like some left hook and just put this guy to sleep. So, and Justin Lane does not have a very good fucking chin. So, Tafa KO1, plus 160. I'm going to have to go with it. But, and this is a big but, if this fight hits the ground, dude, like I'm going to be very, very scared for Justin Tafa. Not that Lane is good, just because fucking Tafa might be that bad on the ground. Lou, what do you have here?
Let's make it 3 for 3. I don't see that. The only thing I'm like, I can't say this for any degree of certainty, but the fact that Tafa is 6 inches shorter, 20 pounds heavier, has a lower base, it may at least make it a little more complicated for Lane to get a takedown. Just his core is so low, but I want no part of this fight, man. This is, I'm not interested in betting this. I'm not interested in betting the Tafa side, but for the sake of the show, I mean, it's round one KO is the most likely.
I mean, there's really nothing else that I like here. And the other thing you want to point out here is this guy's a newcomer to the UFC at 35 years old. Like, okay, 35-year-old newcomer. And Tafa's still only in his 20s, I believe. So it's like he has a fucking age edge here as well, somehow, some way. And yeah, I mean, the striking is enormous here, man. Moving on. It is the co-main event of the night. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 11-3 Amanda Ribas versus the 12-2 Macy Barber. I will kick this one off. I'm going to go Barber decision here, man. It's 420. I don't care. Yes, Ribas probably wins the decision. But listen, Barber fights close against almost everyone. Like I think she has more power on the feet. Yes, it was a concern. Andrea Lee took her down a bunch. But, like, Barber has dog in her, man. Like, she has the dog in her. She always comes on in round threes. I think she keeps this fight close. You know, Matafari lost. I mean, she tore her knee. Like, what are we going to give her on that? Like, we got to give her a pass there. She lost to, okay, you know, Alexa Grasso, who's, you know, currently the champion. Okay, that's not a bad loss. And I do think she lost 29-28 on all three scorecards on that fight. So it was a competitive fight against the champion. And now Amanda Ribas, you know, who looked very good against Ariujo. But I still think her chin is a little questionable. 420 on fucking decision prop. And I have a money line play on Barber. I just think this line's a little too wide here on Amanda Ribas. Lou, what do you like here?
Yeah, I mean, it's Macy Barber fight. The obligatory split decision is plus 1,200 here, which I think is bonkers. Barber wins third rounds at a super high clip, too. I think that's very important to mention. The one narrative I've been hearing this week is, well, I mean, Andrea Lee got Barber down, so Ribas should have no problem. But Ribas kind of struggled with Chookagian, really getting anything going in that fight. Like, she'd get her down and do nothing with it. Like, Barber's younger. She's pretty strong. Her get-up game's decent. And against Andrea Lee, there wasn't like, I mean, every second she was on the ground, she was either throwing up punches, trying to move. She never accepted being on the bottom. I think she can out-physical Ribas here. I think she can stay out of trouble on the ground. And I think we might get into one of these fights where, and on the feet, Barber, she's not bad. As long as she's throwing volume, unlike that first round against Maverick, the optics tend to look good for her to the judges. So the Barber decision looks pretty good, but I'm gonna get greedy and go with the split decision because and I'm tired of losing fights with her. So I'm just, you know what? Just leaning right into it now. If I lose, I lose. I'm leaning into it.
Yeah, I mean, 420, dude. How wrong can you be on a fight that's, picked to go to the decision, right? I mean, is Amanda Rebus going to absolutely just run through her? No other girl has. Like, the champion didn't do it. Like, I question that. I don't think that's happening. So
I see GMC saying that Chukagian's enormous, but she's not some gifted, like I'm saying, she's not like a gifted grappler. She's not great on the ground, and she was getting up pretty easily against Rebas, who's supposed to be like just a world beater at control. So,
yeah. And you know what? She had success against Araujo, but Araujo always slows down, man. She has bad cardio. Like round one, was pretty competitive before. I do think she rocked Araujo somehow, some way in that fight, or dropped her, whatever. But yeah, dude, I think 25. Yeah, she had success against Araujo, but against girls with good cardio like Barber and is strong, I don't think she's going to have the same success here later in this fight. So we'll see. Brady, what do you have here?
Yeah, I mean, this fight has split written all over it. So I'm going to go with the split decision prop. I think it's like plus 400. I think Rebas wins, but it doesn't really matter what I think because, man, the judges love Macy Barber. And I think it could be a close fight either way. I could see Rebas getting takedowns, getting some control time. And then on the feet, I think it's going to be Barber landing some big shots, maybe even wobbling Rebas. I think this fight does go to decision more often than not. If it does finish, it's probably like a Barber knockout. So yeah, I think it could be close. And, these judges were in Jacksonville. Who knows what they're going to think. So I think it's pretty solid split spot.
All right. Split decision. I can see that as well. I mean, listen, Barber fights close. I mean, she does. And it might be a close decision here. You're right. Before we move on to the main event of the night, guys, 113 of you in here, please hit the like down below. Please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. And again, if you want to support Lambo Place Podcast, merch store link is down below. Please go to that link and maybe make a purchase or two. I would really appreciate it, and the show would appreciate it. With that being said, we will move on to the main event of the night. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 18-3 Josh Emmett versus the 13-0 Ilia Topuria. And I will kick this one off to Lou. Lou, what do you have here on the main event?
Yeah, well, this is a kind of a shitty fight to bet without a prop because, I mean, the money line's juiced, the under's juiced. Even Topuria subs like plus 165. It's not a great price, but I'm playing the round 2 sub at plus 1,000 on FanDuel. I tend to think there's going to be a little bit of feeling out process. I know it was up at 155, but we have seen Topuria get a little sloppy in the first round and get rocked against Herbert. He did recover, but I think he has to mind his P's and Q's at least a little bit. Emmett 38, fighting at 145. Also, there's a mindset issue here too, man. Emmett fought for so long to get a title shot. Then he got just absolutely demolished. How do you come back from that? Like, now you got to do all that work again at 38 years old and see if you can make an ascent in the title. So there's a lot. I'm not like, if George was here, we'd talk about the narrative. He's the king of narrative nation, but everything here, it's an ABC card. They want to build people up. They're trying to make Topuria the new guy. They're trying to make him, he's going to get a title shot with an impressive win here. I do think he's going to get takedowns relatively easy. I know Emmett's takedown defense is pretty good, but he's not facing guys that take him like that even really are trying it. So I think Topuria gets it done. I have the round 2 submission 10-1. I have a very scary play. I did do fight starts round 2 in a parlay. It's like minus 160 when I put it in. It's terrifying, but I do think they both have to kind of respect each other's weapons a lot. So I don't think it's going to start out with a bang the first few minutes.
All right. LouBetya on the Topuria side. Brady, what do you have here on this interesting main event?
Yeah, nothing really sticks out. I'm on the Topuria side myself, but I really don't like the line. Like minus 310. I think Josh Emmett is getting pretty disrespected, but Emmett now 38 years old at featherweight at this point. I think Ilia is definitely the real deal. And this is going to be his biggest win by a mile if he's able to pull it off. And I think he does. But yeah, I'm with Lou. I think this fight does start round 2. I think it's kind of a filling out process. It's Toporia's, as far as I'm concerned, first 5-round fight. Definitely is in the UFC. So I think we are going to get to a round 2 at least. And I think that's when the fight's going to really kick off. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to sprinkle the Topuria round 2 and round 3 props. Topuria round 2 plus 470. Topuria round 3 plus 1,000. I think he can work that grappling, get the fight down to the mat, get a sub, or simply I think he's going to potentially knock out Josh Emmett as well. So I like Topuria to finish this fight, but I think it's going to take a little bit longer than some people expect.
I am right there with you, Brady. You can get, by the way, you can get 5-10 on Unibet Bet Rivers if you have it, and 10-50 on round 3. Dude, like the thing with Emmett is 38 years old at featherweight. He just got brutally beaten 4 months ago, dude. Like it's 4 months. And I know it's 4 months, but 38-year-olds don't really recover quite well in 4 months after taking that much of a beating. The guy's not 26, 27, where you can recover a lot easier. Guy's 38 years old, and he was fucking getting killed in that fight. And eventually got subbed. And, now he faces another killer who hits extremely fucking hard. I mean, Emmett is known to hit very hard, and he does. But I think Topuria hits equally as hard. Like the guy just throws hammers, man. Like they are huge. I mean, he's winging punches from his hip. And, he's going to be the younger guy by a lot. I think he's going to be the quicker guy here. And I kind of agree with those takes of like, they're going to respect each other early because they know both guys hit, both guys know the other guy hits very hard. So they might take it easy early, but I kind of feel like Topuria, this is the thing with me is like, I kind of feel like Topuria is a guy that likes to prove points. Like he's just like the machismo guy. And he's like, oh, you know what? You're the guy that hits very hard. Well, I'm going to knock you out and show you who's the guy that hits very hard. I just kind of have this thing in my head that I think that's how Topuria probably thinks. And he's going to try to go out here and bang with Emmett, which probably is not the best idea, but I think he's much faster at this point. I think he's probably more durable at this point. And I just think he's going to find a finish here, in round 2 or round 3. It's like I said, it's 5-10, 1,050. I doubt this fight hits round 4, man. I would be really shocked if this fight goes that far. So, Topuria 2-3, 5-10, 1,050. I don't know if he's going to sub him, club and sub. It could happen. I think it's most likely KO, though, in this fight here. All right, guys. End of all 13 fights there. Now it's time for the fun part, man. It's the Lambo parlay. It's the one that makes, that actually makes you go buy a Lambo after you hit it. Maybe a yacht, whatever you want. It depends on how big it is. But I will let Brady kick us off here with his Lambo parlay, and Mushroom is probably frothing at the mouth right now. So go ahead, Brady.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of violence this week. I think, there's a lot of heavily fights favor inside the distance. We have a lot of unders that are completely juiced. And I'm doing a round 1 knockout parlay. The first leg is going to be Tafa to win by first round knockout, plus 155. The second leg is Trevor Peek wins by knockout, plus 265. And then the final leg is Cody Brundage wins by first round knockout, plus 900, comes out to plus 9,207. 5 units to win 460 units. I'm joking, but I'm going to sprinkle like a quarter unit on it.
I like it. I'm going to play that. I always play my guest plays, and you never know when it hits. Lou, you're smiling over there. You're like, I got one for you guys. Hold on. What do you have here, Lou?
It's only a 4-legger. This is on FanDuel. Brendan Allen, decision, plus 380. Brundage round 1 KO, plus 700. Santos round 2, round 3 KO, plus 950. And Wellington Turman by submission. That 4-legger gets you plus 282,140 odds.
I fucking knew you were gonna go crazy. I just knew
4 legs, man. It's just a 4-leg parlay.
4 legs at 282 to 1.
I should have put Zalga's submission in there. I could have gotten it to like $1 million.
I'm kind of ashamed to even give mine out after those two, but I'm gonna go with mine. Mine is Dumas by KO, plus 300. Santos ITD plus 130. Tafa KO minus 115. And who's this last one? Oh, Topuria KO plus 175. It's 46 to 1. You know, it's reasonable. I have $50 on it, so I win $2,300 if it hits. I will play both of your guys' Lambo parlays. And with that being said, I will kick it off to my guests. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for taking the time and filling in for my co-host Tim as he's, you know, in this tennis tournament. I don't know what he's doing, probably hitting on soccer moms. But Lou, tell them where they can find you, what you have going on. I have your links down below for your YouTube channel and your Twitter. But yeah, tell them where they can find you and what you have going.
So the MMA Engine, that's where all my content is. 20 minutes from now at 5:30, I'm doing a solo show. Monk's not available, so I'm just doing really quick half an hour breakdowns for all what I have in play, for my bets, all the fights, usual chat nonsense. And I believe that show will lead into something that Brady is going to talk about. So that's all I got. LouBetya on Twitter, and thank you.
All right. Thanks for being here, Lou. Appreciate you and all the insight. Brady, where can they find you? What you have going on? And all those links are down below. I see you have a new website. Is that new?
It's kind of new. It's last year, but yeah. Check out me. I'm going live in my math is bad, an hour and 48 minutes, something like that, on my channel. Going to do a final thought stream, and then tonight I'm going to be doing a best bet show. Me and Blood Money, just us two tonight, and then that's about it for this week. But yeah, I'm on Pub Sports Radio each week. My channel, DFS by the Numbers, and then of course MMA Engine as well. So yeah, Narco, thanks for having me on. Hopefully we hit some of these Lambos.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it, Brady. Go to his YouTube, subscribe. Great dude, great mind. Also, you guys also do a bunch of DFS, I know. So that's awesome as well. You guys can find me at NarcoCop on Twitter, and probably going to have a live spaces tomorrow for the fight card while I play poker, and probably have a co-host there running it for the most part. But also, guys, one last thing, merch store down below. If you like what we do, Lambo Plays Podcast, do us a favor. Go in there, grab a t-shirt, something that's affordable if you want. And yeah, sport it, put it on Twitter, and I'll retweet it. I'll appreciate it. Thank you very, very much, everybody. One last thing, guys, as usual, let's cash those fucking tickets for UFC Jacksonville.